It's okay to not be in your most creative mode at every single point of your creative journey. It's not going to happen like that. So let's normalize just, getting in your bag, focusing on yourself, taking a step back from your craft for a minute to get your mind right, get you right. And then when you come back, make sure you double it. That's all. That's it.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Just Jay. This is episode number 8 of season 6. How y'all doing? How are y'all? How did you guys like last week's episode? I know it was a little emotional. I know I talked about a lot of different topics, a lot of different heavy topics. I First of all, I want to reflect on last week's episode, which was episode 7, called Let Your Emotions Run. I want to reflect on that episode because that episode really allowed me to see how important and how necessary my podcast is to my not only my life but my healing journey and as I grow as well, because in that episode I spoke about how throughout the week prior to recording I had woken up feeling angry one day, sad one day, and I was like, wow, I wonder how I'm going to feel tomorrow when this airs and when I'm like, when I'm over this. Let me tell you something. I woke up on Friday, episode was out, everything was good. I woke up on Friday and I totally felt refreshed. I totally felt like I had woken up with a clear mind and a clear heart. I 100% think that when I come on here and I just let you know, when I come on here and I just talk and I get everything out and I just let my emotions literally run and I go through the motions of the ups and downs that come with every episode, or the different topics that come with every episode, or the different things that may move me in every episode. I am grateful for this podcast because truthfully, it has become such a different outlet for me. And it has become something that, like, on top of me going to therapy, on top of me doing the inner work on myself, my podcast really does add that extra layer of growth, an extra layer of perspective, and just because, like I always tell you guys, you don't realize what you actually go through until you say it to somebody else. And I'm not saying it to anybody. Well, actually I am, because I'm getting on here and I'm saying it to you guys, but I don't really realize the magnitude of how many things or how much I may be going through in a particular moment until I talk about it on the show and until I open that bag and let you guys, see a different side of me or see my life from the inside out. You know what I mean? Because it's easy for somebody to get up here and make it seem like everything in their life is perfect and everything that in their life is going great and put on this facade like everything is okay. I'm not the type of person, because if something's wrong, you're going to see it all in my face. You're going to see it all in my demeanor, all in my energy. My energy is going to be different. And I don't ever want the times that my energy is different for people not to think that I'm still human and that I'm allowed to have my days. I didn't expect to come on here and start and get emotional or, start tearing up on last week's episode. I really didn't think that my emotions were going to overtake me the way that they did, but I'm happy that they did, because it just gave me a lot of clarity and a lot of a release for those topics and situations that I spoke on. So I'm happy that I was able to talk about those. I hope you guys enjoyed that episode. I know it was one of the shorter ones, but it was also a heavier one. So I think that sometimes when I have heavy topics like that, I do keep it kind of short and kind of brief, just to really, vent and get it out and move on to the next one. So here we are in a new week. It's about to be June. Today is what, May 30th. June is in 2 days, June 1st. I'm so excited for June because the past 2 months have been good for me. I had, a good April. Obviously, my birthday month was amazing. May was okay too. I'm not gonna lie. Like, May was very good. So I'm happy for June because that means it's gonna be officially summertime soon. It's gonna be hot outside. I think everybody's always happier in the summertime, which I think weather in general and the sun and just being outside and being able to do outdoor activities really helps people in times of need. So I think that the summertime is the best time for everybody. Everybody's in a good mood. Everybody's personality is out, vibrant, thriving, and we're all really outside doing what we love to do. And I think that also, me being an earth sign, I enjoy the summer the most because that's when I'm outside the most. Because truthfully, I am going to 100% say that I am a true earth sign. Anything that we can do outside, sign me up. Like I like to sit and I do like to do picnics. I like to do ride bikes in the park. I like to hike. I like to do all that stuff that has to do with being outside because that's just in my nature. It's in my blood, baby. So I'm excited for summertime. I think it's gonna be a good summer, first of all, and I'm just excited. I'm just excited. I think this is the around the time of year when everybody starts to just feel like they can be more relaxed and just be happier. So I'm excited for summertime. The year is flying. Hello, 2023 is we're like halfway through it. Um, I'm just I think also like at the halfway point of the year is when I'm always like my wheels are always turning because it's like okay, we done spent the last 6 months trying to make different moves and be a different person, but have we actually followed through with what we wanted to do in the beginning of the year when we made our New Year's resolution? I make one every year. I make a list of things that I want to do or I want to accomplish throughout the year. And I think the halfway point, which is literally now, because June is really the halfway point of the year, the halfway point of the year is when you really have to like be like, okay, have I made any progress? If not, why? And what can I do to change that? And if I have, what can I do to continue and maintain that and even strengthen that to make even more progress? So I I'm gonna child, I'm gonna be outside this summer. I'm gonna have a great time. I'm going to be doing what I want to do this summer outside with my homegirls because it's that time of year. So this year, I mean not this year, child. Hmm. This episode, I want to talk about something that I think is very important for me. And if it's important for me, I know it's important for you because we're both humans trying to learn and trying to, better ourselves and really figure out the pathway to life. I think that as I get older, I'm understanding everything that my elders would tell me when I was younger. Like, you're going to find that out when you're older. You're going to see being an adult is not that easy. And like, I think when we are younger, we're trying to grow up and be so fast because we see our older peers that are out here living their life, going to college, driving cars, doing that stuff. So I think when you're younger, you see that and it's like, ooh, I can't wait to be 16. Or I can't wait to be 23. And now that I actually am older, it's like, I wish I would have understood how real shit was about to get because I'm in my 20s, babe, and it's on like I'm not gonna say that I haven't had fun because I have been having a lot of fun in my 20s. Don't get me wrong, like I'm having the time of my life, but at the same time, it's like all them times my grandma was like, life is only gonna get harder. She was absolutely right because it has gotten harder, and I think for me the key to life is really a positive mindset and your perception of it. You know what I mean? Because anything that you go through can either make or break you. That's something that I really, really do live by. I think if you're going through a hard time, let's say, I'll give you an example. Let's say you're going through a hard time in your life and you're down bad. When I say down bad, I mean financially, emotionally, spiritually, physically. You're just down bad, not in a good place in your life, right? If your mindset is negative, that that period of your life is going to feel like hell. It's going to feel like a punishment and it's going to feel like prison type. Because I saw this analogy where it was like life can either be prison, punishment, or a playground for you, and it all determine it. And literally, we are the determining factor of which one we're experiencing at the time. So if you have a negative mindset, I think I always try to convince myself when something negative happens to me. I always try to mentally go through it. I'm trying to mentally process it while after I let my emotions overcome me. Because if you go through something and it may hurt your feelings, you're gonna cry, you're gonna be angry, which are natural emotions that you're supposed to feel when you go through things. So I allow myself that time to cry if I feel like I need to, or that time to be silent if I feel like I need to, because I've been now as I've getting older and I've been going through things, I've been allowing myself more time to be silent because I'm realizing that sometimes your initial reactions to things is not always going to be the best outcome, or it's not always going to be the smartest outcome or the most thought out outcome. So sometimes you have to give yourself a second to really be quiet and sit with whatever you feel and then react or then respond to whatever, you know what I mean? Like, because I used to be somebody that was something would happen to me and I would be very reactive. and very I don't want to say aggressive, but I just want to say I would be very reactive. So I probably would fly off the handle or take things too far just because that's the reaction that my body gave me to whatever it is that's happening to me. Because that stems from my anger, that stems from, you know, just me being frustrated in a situation or being upset, natural emotions that allowed to feel as a human. But I learned that sometimes when you're reactive and when you fly off the handle in certain things or you violate people just because you feel some type of way, that often does more damage than good. So I've been trying to enforce or like force myself to really, okay, whenever you feel something, address what it is you feel, whatever emotion that may be, and sit with that. Sit with that for a minute to really understand why it is you're feeling what you're feeling. What can you do to not feel like this anymore in this situation and how to move forward? So I think that sitting with your emotions and allowing them to literally run through you and overtake you is important because that gives you the first of all, you're doing the work. You know what I mean? That's the first step to really being able to see how a situation makes you feel so that you can move forward in it. I think that once I call myself out on my emotions and what it is that I feel, then I'm able to respond accurately. Because I think that when you I seen this, somebody actually said this to me, and I seen a podcast talking about it, but sometimes as women, we allow our emotions to overtake our logic when we're in an argument or when we're in a situation with somebody. And I think that for I'm not gonna lie, I absolutely do that because if something hurts my feelings right in the moment, I can't see the logical viewpoint of it because my emotions are clouding me. If I'm upset about something, I'm upset about something and I'm standing on that. And that's just how I've always been and how I will always be. So it's better for me to feel whatever it is I'm feeling, take a step back from the situation or from the person I'm speaking to, gather myself, figure out what it is that I feel and why I'm feeling that, and then I can respond to you. Because then I'm not really acting off of my emotions, but now I'm allowing my emotions to pass so that the logic can come back in. So I think that just little lessons and tips and tricks like that could change your how you move in life and could change how you see things. Because honestly, ever since I've learned that, it'll be like I'll have a disagreement with somebody, and it'll be like, okay, when you tight at somebody, you want to react immediately and just get all your feelings out. But sometimes your feelings can come off harsh, or they can come off, you know, just not how you want to have them come off. Especially if you're in a like texting somebody. Text messages are always just your tone is never going to be felt. They're never really going to understand or get what you're actually trying to say because behind a screen, it's easy to interpret it any way that you want to without it really being the real interpretation. So I think once I realized that sometimes you just got to be quiet and be emotional first before you try to hash things out or figure out what the next step may be. Because child, if I'm upset about something off rip, I'm going to get emotional before I my emotions are going to overtake me before I can even think about any logical explanation or reasoning to what it is that we're trying to figure out. So I think once you, and not even just for women, because I think in when I had originally learned that, it was in the context of women need to do better at this because we are emotional beings for sure. But I think as humans and individuals, period, whenever you're faced with a challenge or something is bothering you or you're, going at it with somebody, don't allow your emotions to overshadow your logic in that situation. Because I think sometimes, you know, after you let your emotions pass and you like because sometimes this is how I really knew that I needed to change this about myself because I would be very reactive, right? I would fly off the handle, I would violate somebody, right? Because they made me feel a certain emotion that I may not be comfortable with at the time, right? So I would fly off the handle, go back and forth, and I'm violating you, right? Then a couple days later when my emotions have passed fully and I realized like, okay, I was out of line because I was acting this way or I felt this way. You know what I mean? And I felt this way because whatever the case may be. After a while, when those emotions are already gone and you're looking at the situation, it's like, damn, I didn't have to say that. Or I shouldn't have did this. Or I could have did this better. You know what I mean? So instead of acting off of those emotions right when you feel them, take a step back. And then when you're able to come back in a logical and rational way then approach the situation. Because I think sometimes also, sometimes realistically, a situation will be black and white. You either need to like, you either have to logically look at this and realize that this is not a positive situation and remove yourself, or there's a common ground that you guys can come on to figure it out. Sometimes when you're so emotional and you just feel so many different things, for whether it be so many different things for that person or the situation, you can't be logical enough to be like, you know what, this is not right, let me just wash my hands with this altogether. So your emotions are allowing you to just see this situation in a totally different manner. And I've also been learning that, like, sometimes when, well, not sometimes, but when you're actually doing the work and healing yourself, you see things differently from somebody than that is not doing the work or hasn't healed parts of themselves yet. So like me and you could be looking at a situation totally different based off of the work that we've done within ourselves. The work that we do within ourselves and the growth and the healing eventually becomes the gift that we give to other people. Because when you're, living in your unhealed or toxic self, you're not really giving your best self to, whether it be your friends or your romantic partners or your family. Like, that shit is actually really true. Like, all the work that you do on yourself is ultimately going to be a gift for everybody else that's in your life, because they're getting the best version of you. So that's a gift within itself. Because you ever fucked with somebody who just hasn't healed from nothing? Or you ever like just interacted or fucked with somebody that just has has a lot of baggage that they're carrying, but they have not healed from it yet? So it's just like, you doing a lot of work on yourself. So you're also, when you do a lot of work on yourself, it's easier for you to point out the unhealed things in a lot of other people too. Not on no like, oh, I'm healed, I'm but not on like a inferior or superior standpoint, but you're just able to see things differently. Being that I'm in therapy and I've actually been, actively doing the work every single week for a couple months now, it's like I'm able to look at certain people in my life who are not healed and who haven't been doing the work. And I'm like, if you would just switch over to this side and like actually dig deep within yourself, you'd understand why I see that totally different in you. You'd understand why I don't let certain things get to me. I have so many people in my life right now who are like going through it, and it's like their mindsets are not positive or optimistic. Because I'm not going to sit here and say that my mindset is always so positive. You know how long it took me to get here? You know all the work that I had to really put in to gain this optimism and to gain this positive perception. It took me so long to gain the optimistic or positive perception of life that I have now, because there are people in my life now who are just stuck in the negativity. And I think that as somebody who is healing, I'm not going to say I'm healed, baby, because it's still a work in progress, but as somebody that is healing, looking at the other people in my life who are not healing or who haven't even done the work that I've done, I'm looking at you and it's like, if only you would come to the positive side of it, things wouldn't be so bad. Because I think when your mindset is still negative and you're still looking at everything as if like, damn, why is this happening to me? Or damn, this is such a shitty time in my life. When you allow that negativity to soak up and absorb you, it's hard for you to see the other side of it. I think truthfully, for me, I just had to go through so many negative situations, right? Because when you're in a negative situation, when you're in the midst of it, when you're in the eye of the storm, literally, it's so hard for you to think that, oh, after this, once this passes in a couple weeks or a couple months or a couple days, I'll be back to myself and I'll be better and I'll be happier. And this, you know what I mean? It's so hard to see past that negativity because you haven't done the work on yourself. I think that it truthfully took me going through things, right? Because we always say like, it'll get better or it'll pass, which is 100% a true statement, because it always does pass and it always does get better. But sometimes you have to really go through that a couple times to see like, okay, I'm going through this negative situation. And then, because I like to tell people that sometimes you just have a bad season in your life. Once after every rainstorm, there's always a rainbow. And that's how I try to explain it to other people who are trying to heal or or going through anything in general. Like, it's just raining right now. It's raining. And I'm sorry, but sometimes you have those periods of rain that are so frequent and so consistent where it's like, damn, I don't want to do nothing. I don't want to go to work. I don't want to go to school. Who the fuck wants to go outside in the rain? Be realistic. But are you going to call out of work because it's raining? Are you going to not go to school because it's raining? No. You get your umbrella, you get your rain boots, you get your raincoat. You plan your day accordingly. You don't wear certain things when it's raining. Just like you make the accommodations when it's raining, make the necessary accommodations when life is not going how it's supposed to for you or how you feel like you want it to go for you. Make the accommodations. And the best way I know how to get through life is to make analogies for it all. So just like that rain analogy that I just showed you, or I just explained to you, when it's raining, you're going to take the necessary steps to stay dry. You're going to take the necessary steps to still get through the day even while it was raining. Do that when it's raining in your life. Do that when it feels like everything is dull or everything is, you know, stagnant. Make the necessary accommodations that are going to be beneficial for you to cope through that season of your life so that when the season changes and things do get better, you can make the necessary accommodations for that. You know what I mean? Life is really, I never really, there's so many keys to life, right? Everybody always says, like, the key to life is really this. Truthfully, honestly, the key to life for me that I have really learned and really grasped is your positive mindset. The key to life is really mindset and your perception of life. You know what I mean? Because for me, it's easy for me to say that things will get better because I've been through those things. I've been through things and it's gotten better for me. And I've gone through some more things and it's gotten better for me. And I've gone through some more things and it's gotten better for me. I've gone back and forth on this swing of, ups and downs in life. So I know that after every negative situation you go through, there's going to be a little positive in there. You're going to get there. You just have to go through the swing of negativity for a minute, and it's going to have to rain real hard on you for you to really understand, like, okay, let me just ride this wave out. That's what I do. I think for me, whenever I'm gonna use right now as an example. Right now in my life, I have a lot of good things, but I also have a little bit of. I'm not gonna say that I have a lot of negative things because truthfully I don't, because I worked hard to bring that list of negative things down to where I can manage it. You know what I mean? I think we often make our long list of the negative things in our life, right? But a lot of those things on that list are things that we can't even control. So why are they on your list of things that are weighing you down every day? If you can't control it, take that shit off. That's not your weight to carry. That's not your negativity to put on your list, right? So I think we get so consumed by all of the negative things that our list starts to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. Little do we know we're neglecting our positive things list. Because realistically, there's my therapist actually has this exercise that she does where every day she'll come home and she has a vase or a mason jar sitting on her table with a stack of post-its and some pens. Every day she comes home or at the end of her day, every day, she writes down one positive thing that happened to her or just one positive thing from her day. And she keeps it for an entire year, right? So at the end of the year, she goes through all the post-it notes to remind her and to train her mind into understanding that there's always going to be positives every single day. Whether it's, and it doesn't matter if your positive is you just took yourself out for ramen that day or you got yourself a cup of coffee in the morning. If that's your one positive, that's still a positive. It doesn't matter how many positives you have. Sometimes, some days you're going to have more positives than negatives. Some days you're going to have more negatives than positives. No matter what, it's still beneficial and important to point out the positives. That's one thing therapy has also taught me. Be present, number one, and be present kind of goes both ways because for me, I've learned that it's okay. Yes, you need to really appreciate the positive in your life, but you also kind of need to appreciate that bad because it's teaching you lessons. It's teaching you what you can handle, first of all. It's teaching you your strength also. And it's also teaching you that this is how life is going to go. It's going to be up and down. It's supposed to be that way. Life is not meant to be easy because everybody would be rich and everybody would be happy and everybody wouldn't know what, real life experience and real life turmoil is. It is important to go through the ups and downs and appreciate them both, because I think we often also, life will humble your ass real quick. When you feel like you are on top of the world and you have all the positives and all the money and everything is going well for you, life will humble you and bring you right back down to the lowest of lows, so that you don't forget that feeling. And I think that's what my life has been. I don't want to say that's what my life has been, because realistically all of the things that have happened to me are, one, things that I can't control, and things that low key had to happen to me for me to really understand all of the lessons that I'm supposed to be learning in my life right now and in general. I am so grateful for all of the negative things that I've gone through, even right now in my life, right? There are, of course, the list of things that I feel are negative for me. Yes, it's constantly growing because we're always nitpicking ourselves and nitpicking our lives and trying to figure out. We always pay more attention to the negative than we do the positive. Always. It's just as it is what it is. But knowing that, that's something that I work on daily. You got to be appreciative of every point that you are at in your life, because I know right now I may seem like, right now all of the negatives that I'm weighing on and that I'm harping on are not going to mean anything to me 5 years from now, because I'm going to be in a better place, in a better town, in a better, you know what I mean, doing better things, and I'm going to reflect on my life and it's going to be like, damn, I needed to go through that. There's always a lesson to the madness in our lives. We just never really, sometimes it takes us a while to figure out what the lesson is. Sometimes we learn it instantly because we know. So life is just, child, life is always going to be hard. Life is always going to be challenging, because that's what it's supposed to be, for real. Like, I always like to tell people that sometimes you just got to learn how to manage your problems, because we're always going to have problems. Like, you think when you praying for, oh, I want to be rich, I want to be this, I want to be that. You're praying for all this stuff, but you think that you still not going to have problems when you have those things? Come on, you're only going to get worse problems when you're rich. You're only going to get worse problems when you're actually happy in life, because that's just how life is. We need to stop harping on the negative things and really understand that this is our cycle of life. This is literally what's supposed to happen for us to really understand and grasp the things that we're supposed to grasp and learn in this life. I think for me, I can't wait till I'm like 35, because I'm going to look back on every single thing that I've done or that I had to go through in my life in my early 20s and be like, I needed that. That made so much sense. And that also, I think it's very hard for people to see the bigger picture, because when you're just in a low point in your life and just things are not going well for you, it's so easy for you to think that, like, damn, my life sucks, or things are never going to get better for me. And reality is, that's so not true. That's really just your negative mindset playing on the negative thoughts that you're allowing to spill out and spill into your life and keeping you there. That's all that is. I think from, like, I thought about this a couple of days ago. Like, the difference in my mind, from when I was 16 to now, that being 23, is totally different. And I could literally, I wish I could have spoken to the 16-year-old me and been like, girl, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be okay. You think this is hard, baby? Wait till what's about to happen to you in a couple years. You know what I mean? Like, just, I don't know. It's just, and I think also I'm learning a lot of things that are important to have a good idea of or to practice as an adult. And reflection is probably one of the highest, most important things that I think that us as adults have to really continuously incorporate in our lives to really better ourselves and better our mindsets. You need to be reflecting on everything that you go through, because that reflection could lead you to see the lessons that you needed to learn. And I think reflection is also our greatest teacher, because reflection really stems from within you, because you're reflecting on your own experiences and your own thoughts and the things that you have put out into the world. So I think reflection is an amazing teacher, because without me taking a step back and looking at everything that I've gone through, right? And reflecting, I wouldn't have the knowledge that I have now. I wouldn't have the little, gems that you need to acquire throughout your life in order to really cope with life. Because I think life is very, very hard, and life is going to take you through a series of ups and downs. And I know probably when I'm 45, girl, I'm probably going to go through a midlife crisis and be like, damn, what was me? Life is horrible. But it's like the mindset that I have right now at 23 that I've worked so hard to acquire, that I'm going to continue to do the work to maintain and develop and strengthen. By the time I'm 45, whatever I'm going through at the time, yes, it'll be hard. Yes, it'll fucking suck probably, especially when I'm rich as fuck. Hello, I'm going to be rich as fuck when I'm 45. And I'm going to be fine as hell. So that's another problem. I'm going to be going through so much, babe. I'm going to be going through so much. I'm not going to have time to do the work that I'm doing right now. You know what I mean? So, child, I have people right now in my life, right, that I love dearly. But I think because I'm doing the work on myself, it's hard for me to sit around and listen to people's problems and, let people vent that I know are not the type of people that are taking, first of all, taking the advice that I'm giving them, but also listening to themselves repeat their problems over and over again. I really can't sit here and listen to you talk about the same issue when you're not really doing what you need to do to solve that problem. If I'm solution based. I'm a solution type of girl. You call me with 100 problems, you're going to hang up with 105 solutions because that's just who I am. I like to solve problems. If we can solve it and get it out of the way and get it off both of our minds, let's solve it right now. And if you need my help, I got you because I can create ideas all day. But I don't have no patience for the people who are continuously just sitting in their misery and allowing that negative mindset to keep running and keep allowing them to sleep on their fucking potential. Dude, I have somebody in my life right now, right? I love him dearly, love him like head to toe. I think he's an amazing, dope ass person that I would literally do anything for, right? Would give him the shirt off my back. But he's just down bad right now, right? And that's not me saying that to be when I'm telling somebody that you're down bad, that you're just going through a low point, right? That's it. Going through a low point and has been going through a low point for a couple months now. To the point where his head is low, he's losing his like I don't want to say he's losing his faith because that's one thing about him. Like he constantly says to me like, I'm gonna get right soon. I'm gonna get right soon. I'm gonna be all right soon. And I repeat it back to him because you are. I want you to know that you will be. But his mindset wasn't always like that. And I told him a couple of days ago, I said, I cannot wait for your perception or your perspective on life and on yourself to change. Because for when somebody just is like, I feel like I'm a burden. I feel like I don't bring anything good to people's lives. Just getting so down on themselves, right? It's hard for me to listen to people who are genuinely great people get down on themselves because first of all, I know what it's like to be there to where you feel like you're trying your hardest in life and nothing is working. Nothing is pulling through. Nothing is pulling you out of this darkness, right? I know what that feeling is like. And also, I don't like when as a good person, as a genuine good person with a genuinely good heart, right? I see other genuinely good people who are going through a hard time. It's like, damn, I wish I could shake you for you to see. First of all, it's going to get better. That's number one. But I wish it was easier for you to see what I see in you. You know what I mean? Because it's easy for me to see the potential in other people. That's just something that I've always been good at. And I'm a good judge of character. So I'd be talking to him sometimes, and it's like, damn, every time I talk to you, you have one negative thing to say about yourself. That bothers me because I know that when I'm not around or when you're by yourself at night, you're doing the same shit. You're talking yourself down, saying, "Damn, I got to do this. I got to do this. I'm not doing this right. I'm not doing this right." That negative ass self-talk is feeding that negative mindset that you have. But that's something that's something that you can't force nobody to really understand. You can't force nobody to grasp that. Somebody has to go through some really, really low times, like lowest of the low, to feel like, okay, I'm at the bottom. I've hit rock bottom. What do I have to do to really change my life around to where I'm only going up? You know what I mean? Yes, something may not, I may stumble a few steps because something may come out of nowhere that may, knock me off my feet, but I'm always elevating. What can I do to create that elevation for myself? Once I had to really hit the bottom of my life, right? The worst mental place that I've ever been in my life, right? I had to really go through that and really allow myself to hit the bottom of the barrel for me to be like, you know what? It all starts in my mind.
I saw this post that said, actually, I posted it last night. Hold on, let me read it for you. Let me read it for you, child. I posted it last night for the sad ones in the back. It's fuck. It says, I'd like to change the idea that we should feel embarrassed or go into hiding when we're experiencing a downtime. We all experience times in our lives when we are learning some tough lessons, going through a season of growth, and when things aren't unfolding the way we might have hoped. I think maybe we fear that others will see us as unlovable or unable to make a relationship work when there's a breakup. Or maybe we'll be viewed as stupid for trying something or going after a dream and failing. Remember what I said about failure. Failure is not a thing. You don't fail, you only learn. But I think hiding and being afraid of what others will say and think is wasting energy. Let us focus instead on on useful things like what we have learned, what shifts we like to make in our approaches, and most importantly, use this experience as an opportunity to practice loving self-talk and to gain sharper clarity regarding what we desire moving forward. Deal? That shit spoke to me, child, because sometimes, like, if I'm going through something, I'm really gonna like isolate and really say to myself, because my misery does not like company, and I don't ever want my friends to feel like, or I just don't ever want to be around people and my negative energy rub off on them. That's always what, like, I just don't fuck with. So for me, when I be going into my like shell, it's mainly for me. It's more for me than it's for anybody else, because I'm just like, first of all, I need to get me together, and I don't even really want to fucking talk to y'all. I don't really want to, you know what I mean? So like, but I felt that because I feel like, back to the person in my life that I was talking about, who's just going through a negative time right now. He was talking to me. He was like, I just feel like I'm a burden for everybody, so I'm just like distancing myself from everyone. And in my head, it's just like, that's only gonna make the situation worse. I feel like when you're going through a hard time and you feel alone, it only makes it worse. But when you're causing yourself to feel alone because you're isolating yourself and you're pushing everybody away, that shit doesn't help you. That shit kind of does more harm than good, because even when I'm in a negative moment or a negative mindset in my journey, it's like, and I isolate myself and I push people away, then my negative mindset takes over that and like feeds off that. And it's like, oh, well, nobody's caring about you. You're so alone. Nobody's, checking up on you. But in reality, it's because I pushed everybody away. So it's my fault that nobody's really like reaching out, because I've already, pushed them to the farthest point that they can possibly be. So I think that it's important, when you're going through a hard time, don't isolate yourself. And really, but then again, it all goes back to mindset in general, because that isolation comes from like us thinking, damn, nobody's gonna understand, everybody else is doing their own thing, everybody else is succeeding and living their life, and I'm just the only one that's going through a negative time, so let me isolate myself. But in reality, everybody's going through it. We all go through those periods in our life, those growing periods where we have to go through some really hard shit and learn some really tough lessons in order to succeed and to grow. So when we change our mindset to thinking that it's only us going through a hard time whenever we're going through a hard time, we really have to take a step back and be like, no, everybody has these moments. They're all just at different times. So my time may be different from yours, and your time may be different from mine, but we all have those moments where it's just a really, really hard season in our life. And I think that it is so easy for us to isolate and just, turn everybody off and tune everybody out. But realistically, like, we need to be embracing our hard times, because that's what makes us. That's what gives us the strength to keep going. That's what molds character. Hard times mold character. So you wouldn't be who you are today without those hard times. But I think it's just so hard to convince the people in your life who are not healed or not healing like you are to make those necessary changes. So
it's just hard. It's all hard. It really is. But if you want to live a happy and healthy life and really get what you're supposed to get out of life, and you're following your purpose and you're just doing what you got to do, that positive mindset or that shift in mindset will come gradually. It took me a while. It took me going through some real hard shit to be like, you know what? We got to change something up here. Because if nothing's changing out here, I need to change something up here. Because I'm the most important. And how I feel every day matters. So I need to change something up here so that what's going on out here doesn't seem as bad or doesn't affect me as much. So. And you know what I mean? Because once I feel like, truthfully, this is another thing. When you wake up every day, if you wake up and already have the notion that you're going to have a bad day, you're going to have a bad day because that's what you put in your mind. I seen this podcast that said if you change your mindset from I have to go to work to I get to go to work, it makes a difference. Or from I have to go to school to I get to go to school, it makes a difference. I'm not there yet because I don't really enjoy saying, oh, I get to go to work today. That sounds stupid to me. Literally dumb because I'm not mentally there. Hello. But changing your mindset really does make a difference. Like for me, I don't get me wrong, I work in the special ed department of a school. Okay. They're from ages like, I want to say like 11 to 14. Okay. 14, 15. Special education. They have Down syndrome. They have autism. They have OCD disorders. They have a lot of different things going on in their little bodies. So yes, sometimes some days are going to be fucking harder than others. I am here to tell you, working in the special education department is not for the weak. Okay. So yes, there are days when I wake up like, fuck, I gotta go see these kids. I don't know who's gonna have a meltdown today. I don't know what's gonna go. But what I've tried to inflict in my life is, okay, I'm gonna go there from this time to this time. I'm gonna get this money. First of all, I'll do anything for some money. Well, let me backtrack that. I One thing about me, I'm gonna go to work because I need that money. Fuck all the other shit. And truthfully, once you're at work, the day's gonna fly and you still gonna get that money. So that's how I like to listen. I don't ever wake up like, damn, I would love to go to work today. It's gonna be so great, it's gonna be so fun. No. But I know I'm gonna get some money at the end of this fucking week. So yeah, I'm gonna go to work and I'm gonna get my shit right. That's it. It's changing the mentality. Changing your mentality will really have you out here loving your life. And I want that. I wish that for everybody because life is never going to be perfect. We are creatures of habit. We're always going to, wish we had more. We're always going to yearn for more in our lives, for sure. That's just our human trait. That's just what we do. But you can't allow your desire for more to make you hate your everyday or make you hate the environment that you're in. Like right now, y'all know I would love to be moving out of my parents' house. Y'all know I would love to be in a different city. Sure. But right now, is that logical for me? No. If I allowed my emotions to overtake that situation, I would be in another city struggling, okay, with no family. Well, the family that I have down there would be there, but yeah, I don't have my immediate family that lives in my house. No, they wouldn't be there with me. So logically, right here is where I'm supposed to be right now because I am not ready for that next step yet, and I know that I'm not, which is okay. You know what I mean? We all talk about our dreams. We all talk about what we want in life, but are you mentally and physically ready, or are you prepared for your dreams? Are you prepared for that house that you want? Are you prepared to be rich? Are you prepared to be, just a businesswoman? Are you prepared to have the number one podcast in the world? Are you prepared for that? Because what comes with that fame, that fortune, that all that stuff, are you prepared to sustain that? Because me right now, I know why I'm not rich right now. Because if I got $1 million right now, you know all the dumb shit I would buy that I don't fucking need just because I know that I'm rich and I know that I got it like that? No, that's not how I want to. When I'm rich, I don't want to have that mindset. I don't want to have that, oh, I'm a splurge on this, I'm a splurge on that. No, I want to know how to manage my money. I want to be financially responsible when I'm able to get my money. So yes, I'm okay with waiting a little bit longer for what's for me or what I'm destined to get out of this life because I know I am not prepared to sustain the lifestyle that I'm waiting for or the lifestyle that I'm dreaming of. I'm not prepared for it. I know I'm not. And that stems from me taking accountability and doing the work in my life. Because yes, I'm doing the work, but I haven't done all the work, you know? So I'm okay with, everybody's podcast going number one before me. I'm okay with everybody getting their viral TikTok clip of their podcast before me. That's okay, because I am not ready for that lifestyle yet. I'm not ready for the things that I've been, aiming for, which is okay because I'm getting ready. And I bet y'all will be ready very soon. But right now, no. That's all. That's all. That's literally all. And I think that, I don't know, we all have, I don't know, when you have just people in your life that are consumed by their negative mindset, it's just so hard to get your point across because because they can't see what you see. You know what I mean? They can't see life how you see it because you've been through some stuff and you've actually done the work to shift your mentality. They can't see that because they're not there. So I just, life is really, everybody has to learn their lessons when they learn them. Everybody has to, take their time with the things that they're doing. So yeah, I just allow myself to ride whatever wave of emotions that I feel, because I know that that's all a part of my journey. But it took me so long to get here. It took me a lot of work to really understand the concept of life. You know what I mean? And I think that that's why I'm not so hard on myself when I feel something. I honestly, if I feel some type of way, I'm literally interviewing myself like, okay, girl, what's up? What do you feel? Why did you feel that way? And that's okay. Give yourself grace. Give yourself, if you want to lay on the couch all day and cry about a situation, lay on the couch all day and cry about a situation. But don't do that shit tomorrow. Give yourself that time to let your emotions run. And after they've run their course, think about your shit logically. That's just me. But moral of the story is, don't allow your situation or where you are right now to make you feel like you have a horrible life, because that's not true. You're just going through a hard season. And sometimes good people may have bad seasons where they have to go through some real hard shit to really bounce back and develop the positive mindset that they need to continue on with their life. So that's it. That's all. That's how I feel. But I hope y'all can't hear the ice cream truck because that shit is loud as fuck. It's just passing by. But yeah. I hope y'all have an amazing weekend. Next week, I will definitely have a collab for y'all. I know I've been saying that, but I will definitely have one. Don't even worry. Watch our YouTube videos. Tune into our Spotify or Apple Podcasts. I have some really, really great events and really, really great collabs coming. So stay tuned for that as well. And yeah, check out our website. Send us some messages on our website. You can look at our blog also. There's a new blog post called Her Perspective on there that you're gonna love. Also send us some messages on our Ask Jay segment. You can send us questions, opinions, topics, suggestions, all of that. I'm open to everything. But yeah, have a great weekend. I'll see y'all soon. Bye.
It's okay to not be in your most creative mode at every single point of your creative journey. It's not gonna happen like that. So let's normalize just, getting in your bag, focusing on yourself, taking a step back from your craft for a minute to get your mind right, get you right. And then when you come back, make sure you double it. That's all. That's it.